Good morning, children. Today we will be discussing about the adaptations found in organisms. Let me start with the definition of adaptation. Adaptation is an attribute of organisms which is morphological, any external, then physiological and behavioral. It enables the organisms to survive and reproduce in its habitat. I have already told you about habitat in my last lecture. Adaptation arises due to extreme unfavorable conditions. Now, let us study about plant adaptations. First of all, we should know about which type of plants are there. Plants are xerophytic, hydrophytic, and mesophytes. Xerophytes are found in the desert or the dry conditions. Now, xerophytic plants exist in dry desert conditions, as I've told you, and there is intense solar radiations. They adapt morphologically like this. Extensive root systems are found for absorption of water. Then I will come to the next slide. The stem remains stunted, thick, and heavily branched, giving a bushy appearance. Thick bark to avoid transpiration or the water loss. Then succulent plants and fleshy stems are also found, which is known as to be chylocalli. I have drawn a diagram for you here. You can see this, children. This is the stem part, and the spines are there, and this is succulent stem. It is in the case of the cacti and the euphorbias. Now comes your stem can also modify into green structure to perform the function of leaf. This is known as to be phylloclad. Example is Opuntia. Now I have drawn a structure for you here. The spines are there, which are the modifications of the stem. Nodes are present here, and the stem has become succulent, green, which can perform photosynthesis. Now comes sometimes the leaves may be thick, much reduced, or modified into spines to check the transpiration. I've told you already. Then comes the sometimes petioles become thick for photosynthesis and the leaf is reduced. This happens in the case of the phyllodes in acacia. Australian acacia is the most important example. Now I have drawn a picture for you. Now this is the petiole where the leaf base has increased and broadened. This is what I have wanted to tell you. Now children, there is another type of modification which is found in the leaves when the leaf becomes green, and called cladophil. Let me make an improvement here. Here the stem is actually going to do that. And this is in the case of the ruscus. You can see here there are flowers, the leaf is reduced. This is ruscus. Then comes your anatomical adaptations. The epidermal cells of the leaves heavily cuticularized or cutinized, so I have to save the plant from the dryness. There may be protective coating of wax and silica. I've drawn here, this is a wax layer. You can view, this is the epidermis and this is a cuticle layer present. So the wax layer and the cuticle both are actually protecting the plants from desiccation. Now comes there is another adaptation which is known as to be the sunken stomata located in deep pits in the case of Nerium. They have hairs also, and this I have drawn here. I will show you. The stomata contains hair-like structures. These are the hair-like structures in the stomata. Now coming to another adaptation, and this is the sunken stomata located in deep pits, already told you. Then sclerenchyma, well developed for efficient conduction of the water. Then leaves have bulliform or motor cells in epidermis that help in rolling of the leaf or unrolling. They do so by the movement of the water. Now these are the motor cells. You can see these motor cells are there. And this is found in the case of the grasses and Amophilia. Now children, let us now come to the physiological adaptations of the plants. Now when we talk about the physiological adaptations, they are the adaptations in the process which are taking place inside the body of the plants. Now osmotic pressure is high for remaining metabolically active. Second is the CAM pathway, Cressylian acid metabolism, by which the plants can also perform photosynthesis in the night time. Actually, Cressylian acid is formed during the day and then the other process takes place during the night. Now comes your rate of photosynthesis per unit area is high to synthesize cell wall polysaccharides, that is cellulose at high rate, and fats, which can help to prevent the desiccation. Now hydrophytic adaptations we are going to come up. Morphological adaptation. Stem is slender and spongy. Second is roots poorly developed or entirely absent. Root hairs are mostly absent. In Ecorina and Pistia, roots well developed with root pockets in place of root caps. Now comes the submerged plants which are covered by mucilage. The mucilage actually protects the plant from the water decomposition. Now comes anatomical structures in Hydrophyta or the water plants. They have air spaces, well developed parenchyma cells are present. They help in buoyancy and to float the plants on the surface of the water. Children, another important adaptation is the epidermis, which is thin walled without cuticle. As we have seen in the case of the desert plants, there was a cuticle. Now comes the wax coating is also present on the surface of the floating leaves, and stomata are absent. This is an important adaptation because they don't want to have more water. Then comes and they don't lose it. Then xylem reduced in submerged plants. Then comes your physiological adaptation, less osmotic pressure, then xerophyte but higher than external plants for the mesophytes. The gases stored in air spaces used in metabolism. Now last is the halophytes, which the plants which are grown in the salty conditions. Now these plants are also known as to be mangroves most of the times commonly. They have supporting roots. They also have